Hey guys, I hope you are all doing well. Now, I thought I would jump on here today to do a bit of a transfer video because I know there has been quite a lot of rumours going around. There's been quite a lot of gossip online, and there's a few players that I'd like to talk about as well. And I thought I could do a bit of an update about our injuries too before the game at the weekend. The FA Cup game against Liverpool on Sunday, which should be really exciting. But yeah, I thought I would jump on here for a little bit, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And if some of you are in here, I can answer your questions. But yeah, really looking forward to this. Hi Elizabeth, I'm okay. Hope you're okay too. And to those that you were listening, I hope you guys are all doing well and looking forward to the game at the weekend. So I'm going to start off by talking a bit about some injury updates because I know in the press conferences Arteta has, spoke about it, and I just thought I could just discuss that too. I'm going to start off with Zinchenko. Now, I'm going to just talk a bit about what Arteta said about him. Arteta's just said Zinchenko is progressing well. They've got another training session before the game, and then they'll assess how he is. I think for me, that game will be important for him to start because we've not really got much cover there at left back, and I do think we missed him in that game when he wasn't playing. So for me, I think it'll be really important that he does play. Hello, Emerson. I hope you're okay. I hope you're well. Lovely to see you in here. Yeah, so like I said, I think it's really important that Zinchenko will be fit for the game at the weekend. I think we'll really need him. And we don't have a lot of cover at left back right now. We really just have Kivior. I mean, Tomiyasu's obviously gone now. So yeah, we're struggling really for people at left back. And touching on Tierney, I know that there's something that I saw today. I think he's obviously done an interview, and when he was asked about coming back from Arsenal, he has said several people have asked me this if I wanted to return, but now the answer is no. I'm going to stay here for sure. As for staying here longer, the decision is not mine. I think that is really fair enough, if I'm being honest, because he's obviously gone out on loan and he's wanted to get regular game time, which Arsenal he's not getting. And when Tomiyasu's back, when Timber's back, and when Zinchenko is a difficult one. I think he's a great player. Just defensively, he does make us nervous. He can make mistakes there. So there's no guarantee Tierney, if he came back, it would work for him at Arsenal. So I feel like it's taken a risk for him for doing that move. So I think that's the right thing personally. I mean, it'd be nice for him to come back because we are struggling without a left back. With our injuries, but I think that's fair enough from Tierney. I think is pretty understandable, and I'm sure he's happy over there. He's playing as much as he can. Um, I think that's understandable that he is happy there. Regarding his future, that's obviously a different question because we don't know what's going to happen. I feel like he's not really suiting Arsenal style of play right now. Whether that could change, you never know. But that's sort of my opinion on that. Touch and go with Zinchenko for Sunday, and we have Walters as a last resort if he fails. Yeah, I think we'll have to do that because we don't really have much options, really, do we? Um, where will we finish? That's a really tough question. Obviously, right now we've lost 2 games and our performances aren't great. The team just don't seem to be gelling, especially in attack. And I've said if we get the right reinforcements in January, if we get a striker and possibly a midfielder, I would say I think we can do it. I think we can win the league. But I think right now, I'm still hopeful we can win the league, but I'd probably say we could finish second. Um, or third. I mean, Man City have obviously been going through a bad run, and they've obviously got their confidence back and they're starting to win games. Liverpool as well are doing really well this season. I know Villa obviously have done a lot better than what I thought and what other people thought. So, um, yeah, I think very much it's between us, Man City, and Liverpool. I do think Liverpool will win it. If we don't, people have written off Arsenal not to win it, and the last 2 games were really bad from us, and we did need to win them games. But we've really got. It's about how we bounce back from this. I think the game on Sunday is really big. If we lose that, and if we lose it in a really bad way at the Emirates, I think there will be questions asked, and the atmosphere won't be great. I think it's really tough right now, but yeah, I think definitely in the top four, but I would like to stay optimistic and say if we can't win the league and if we don't, then maybe second or third. I mean, if we came third, I would be very disappointed. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because last season we've got first, and it's like we're not progressing as much. And I feel like last season it was devastating how we ended the season. Obviously, it was a good season, but I did think we were going to win the league. So for me, we've really got to maintain that challenge for the league. So yeah, that's sort of how I stand on that. But let me know, guys, where you think we'll finish because it's tough to call right now. I think it's a very long season and things change like that in football. So it's really hard to tell right now. Hey Niall, hope you're okay. Good evening, Sophie. Hope you're doing okay and having a great day. Thank you so much. I hope you are too. I've just seen you've sent me a question. Did you see Arsenal being linked to Dybala and the defender from Fenerbahce? Yeah, I've seen a lot of rumours from that, and I'm going to discuss a few because I think we desperately need a left back. Like defensively, I think we're good. I know if Saliba gets injured or Gabriel gets injured, it's going to affect us. But I think it's tough with injuries and everything. I think you can't predict these sort of things to happen. Tomiyasu obviously out as well. It's really, really tough. But yeah, I think there has been a few rumours going around. I want to start off by talking about a young 17-year-old Ajax wonder kid, Hato. He sounds really exciting actually. He is a defender. He can play both centre back, left back, and you know what? I'd really be happy to have him. I know he is very young, and I think Arteta has shown interest in him. But you know what? I think he sounds really promising. I think we do need. It's good to have experience in the team, of course, but yeah, I think he sounds like a really promising kid. You know, he's captain the Dutch team twice at such a young age. It shows you how much trust they have in him and how important he is. And I think it's just so crucial we do target that left back position because for me, it's an area that I do worry about. I do think it's our weakness because when Zinchenko's obviously not playing, and when he does play, sometimes he can be a little bit shaky. So I feel like for me, that's something I'd be happy with. But yeah, definitely consider that. I don't know if we're gonna put any bids in. It's more just showing that interest in him right now. But yeah, Timber, he's probably following him in his story at Arsenal. Fortunately, Timber has had that big injury. Um, Fortunately with Timber, he's going to be out for a little while. Probably March time he'll be back. So it's obviously tough for that because he's shown what a promising player he is. But talking on some of Arsenal's injuries, I did want to kind of discuss that a bit more. Thomas Partey, we know, has been absent for a lot of Arsenal this season. In his Arsenal career, he does miss a lot of games, and it is quite worrying. Yeah, hi Jason, hope you're okay. I completely agree. That is one that is concerning me. Well, Arteta has just said he's progressing well. We'll be back weeks rather than months, but Arteta can't specify how many weeks that will be. People have said February time, possibly. I mean, when he'll be back, I think that'll be a good thing. But I just feel like for me right now, it's obviously a tough one with Partey, and I think you do make a good point that getting that replacement, that cover for him is massive. And I've said if Partey's playing and Declan Rice is there, it's much better for Declan Rice because Partey just adds this different energy and he's just a fantastic player. People talk about Rodri, who is one of the best, but Partey is up there when he's on his best. When we played Man City, you could really see what a big impact he had on the team. Now, as someone who really I do like, I'm not saying that he would be on Partey's level or he would be the perfect replacement, but this is just someone that I think would be a good suit for Arsenal. I really like Onana from Everton. I've watched him quite a lot. Just feel like, he's young, he's 22. I just feel like he'd really suit how we play. I do love watching him. I always have. He's always been a big threat for them, especially when we're playing against them. So yeah, it's a tough one for that one. I don't know if we would buy him. I mean, I'd be happy with that if I'm being honest. I'm not saying that. Like I said, don't know if he would be on Partey's level, but in the January transfer window, I don't know if they would sell him. But yeah, I think for me it'd be really crucial to bring in someone, because with Partey is that our midfield options are quite low at the moment. For me, we've got Jorginho, we've got Al Neni, um, and we're looking to sell a few of them options, but it is hard. We're really short, and we don't have I don't feel like we have many players on the level as them of like Declan Rice. So I think it's really going to be important that we do bring the right players in. But Onana would be from 70 to 90 million, which for me is a lot of money. And I don't really mind how much money we pay for players. I think as long as we're bringing the right players in, as long as, they're going to help us in the title race this season, I think that's what matters. And we can't forget that we've got the Champions League as well that does attract players to come to us. So I just think it's going to be really tough in the January window. But I think for me, a striker is something that is our number one priority. I think the left back's another one as well. Um, I think, I don't want to ask too much, but I do think we need certain players. I just feel like we've got to get a midfielder, the left back and a striker. Um, Always worth it if it works. Yeah, I think Onana seems like a really good player to bring in. He's really done well for Everton this season and helped them back, get to back where they need to be, up the table. And, he's young. He just seems like the right player to come into this team. So, yeah, I hope we do bring the right players in. I know Arteta's not really speaking much about it. He's just said it's a possibility that we will bring some players in. But yeah, I do think for us to have a successful season, we definitely need to strengthen, because I don't think the squad we have right now will probably get us to win the league. I think if we didn't have the injuries we had, I would probably say we would manage. But because Partey's injured, Tomiyasu's not here, Timber, Smith Rowe is another one. It's quite interesting. Think he would be a player I'd like to get more game time. I know we don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but for me, I just feel like I wouldn't want him to leave Arsenal. And to be honest, if he left at the end of the season, if he's not happy with the game time he's getting, I would completely understand that, because let's be real, it isn't fair when a player like Smith Rowe to get 10 minutes here and there. He deserves regular game time. And I'm not expecting Arteta to start him week in, week out. I don't think that's realistic. I'm just saying maybe bring him on in the 60th minute, okay, quite regularly, 70th minute often, because Smith Rowe is a player that does deserve, more playing time, and he's been through a lot of injuries, and Arteta's wanted to give him a bit of time, to get back to his fitness, to get back fit and healthy to where he needs to be at Arsenal. But yeah, I think Smith Rowe is an interesting one. I think he can really help us this season. Yeah, definitely. I think Smith Rowe, I'm with you. He's so talented. He's so passionate. He loves this club, and I feel like he deserves more opportunities. And I can't understand why Arteta isn't giving him that. It's quite confusing. But like I said, we don't see too much that goes on behind the scenes. But I do worry about that, because, you know, Arteta could play him. He probably chooses not to. But yeah, it's really tough one with Smith Rowe, because if he went, it would hurt. I feel like you've just seen him, Smith grow. He's gone on loan, he's came back, and he's done really well here. And it's really a tough one, isn't it? I do feel a bit devastated if it doesn't end well with him, but he couldn't do any more. Arteta's the guy that makes the decisions, so yeah, we've got to really see what happens with that. But I do think if he wants to move away from Arsenal, if his career isn't going in the right direction, then I do think that's fair enough. But I do think Arteta should play more, but I just can't figure out why he doesn't. Um, Obviously, we know Sunday's a massive game. I think it's a big game anyway. We're in the FA Cup. Um, but yeah, I think with regarding the goalkeeper, I did want to ask you guys, um, what do you reckon? Who will play? Because I did do a video of Liverpool fan yesterday, and it was great to chat with him. But in goal, who do you guys think will be playing? Because this could be a great chance for Ramsdale. Maybe rest Raya, for the Premier League games, give Ramsdale this chance. But I've said I don't think this would happen. I do think this would be good for Ramsdale and his confidence. And obviously, if Arteta's plan is to kind of sell him in the summer, it would show interest in other teams because they'll know how good he is. And I think for Ramsdale's England career, he does need more game time. I would be happy to see Ramsdale, but I personally don't expect to see Ramsdale. I do think Raya's going to be playing because, he's our number one right now. And I think Arteta kind of likes to stick with him. I don't think Ramsdale's coming back unless he has to. He played against Brentford because Raya couldn't. So, I just don't see it happening. I would like to see Ramsdale get this opportunity, but Arteta, when he makes his mind up, he can't really change it, which is, it's a tough one. But like you said, you've got to trust the boss. It's his decisions, and as fans, we respect that. But yeah, we're in a difficult situation. Hello, Chris. I hope you're okay. Big up, Sophie. I'm in Exeter to watch my local team, Carlisle, play tomorrow. 6-hour trek. Wow, I love that dedication. I hope you have a great time. Sounds amazing. Arsenal could do with one more centre back, a natural centre midfield, as Odegaard and Kyle Cams. Back up, right wing Saka and another striker. Yeah, I can't argue with that really. Nelson and Nketiah aren't good enough for me as cover. Yeah, I think I agree with most of that. I think Nelson probably isn't on Saka's level, but I still think he can do good, but when he has came on, I can't say he's made a big impact because maybe Arteta's not giving him enough time. But also, Reece Nelson has just signed another deal with the club, like recently in the last season or two. So that's what I can't really get. I feel like, yeah, I think I do see him leaving. I think Arsenal need money as well. Um, to buy players. Well, the thing is, we do need a big, January transfer window. I know our big transfers will be in the summer, but I think for the league this season, we've got to go with a striker midfielder. Um, the right wing one is a tough one because you are really right there. We don't have much cover for that position. It's a really tough one. Um, like you said, Reece Nelson's there. Eddie comes on. I mean, Eddie did start over Jesus in the other game, but I just don't think he's up to it. I don't think he can really manage that. Yeah, I think it is a tough one. I mean, I know that Nketiah has been linked with Crystal Palace. I don't know what's really going on there. I don't think Arsenal would want to sell him. I think if we sold him, we'd have to bring in a striker before we sell him because if he goes and we sell him, we're putting ourselves weaker than we already are. I think if we brought someone else in and sold him, then I think that's understandable. And I think Eddie has done a lot for us. And if he did go, I wish him well, and I'm really thankful for, what he's done for us. But I do very much feel like we'd have to bring someone else in before he goes because we do need to make sure we have the right amount of attacking players to help us and strengthen our team. But I do think the winger situation is a tough one because we've not really got that backup that we probably need to win the league. I just feel like the striker one is one. The left back as well. I mean, as you mentioned there, Chris, we've got a lot of work to do, really. We've got a lot of signings to make. I think Kai Havertz has definitely helped us in that midfield. When he didn't play, I think it might have been, I can't remember which game it was. It might have been the West Ham game, but you could really tell we were a different team without him, and we really, really lacked his, off the ball work and just his work rate on the pitch. And Yeah, we really, really miss him. I think he's obviously helping us, but we do need more reinforcements. I think if we didn't buy a striker in the January window, I think I'd be really frustrated. I know Ivan Toney has been heavily linked to Arsenal. 100 million for me. I wouldn't say he's worth that, but I also think we've got to do what we need to do to buy a striker, even if it's that much money. I think we've just got to bring someone in. I think Arteta, Eddie have got to recognise that we do need other players in here because we need to win the league. I think we've got to maintain where we were last season. Even if we don't win the league, I think this season is massive for us for winning trophies. I think, yeah, it's so crucial. Um, but yeah, I think as long as we bring players in is something that I think should be a priority. I know the summer is more of the business there, and yeah, I just feel like we've really been struggling with injuries. I know a lot of teams struggle with injuries. Liverpool have had a few. Obviously Man City, Haaland, but if you look at their squad, they've got like the right amount of players to afford, injuries. But we don't have the bench Man City has, and we are a little bit unfortunate at the moment. But this is football; injuries do happen. Um, but I think with Partey being back in around February time, fingers crossed. I just think that we've got to bring someone in. Onana, as I've mentioned, Everton, he seems promising. Not sure if he's on Partey's level, but he's young, he's talented, and he's definitely helped Everton this season. So I don't know if Everton would want to sell him though, because they're trying their best to stay up, improve. So it's a tough one. Um, how are the lads? Happy New Year, Sophie. Happy New Year to you too. I hope you're okay. Hopefully Newcastle will start to improve a bit this season. I know you've had a bit of a bad run, but I know you play Sunderland, I think, in the FA Cup, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I hope you're okay, and it's lovely to see you in here. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes regarding, Arsenal in the league. I do hope we can go for the league again. I think top four for me would be like a minimum requirement, like the worst case scenario. I think if we got out of top four, I would be really disappointed with that. Um, but yeah, I just think, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Like Chris said, we've got a lot of work to do with the midfield. I do think the centre back is another position that I do feel a bit worried in, because if Saliba, if Gabriel gets injured, then it's just we're in big trouble. Like we saw last season, I do think that did affect us in the title race. I do think that was a big reason why we lost out on the league. I know, Man City deserved to win it. They did do well, but yeah, I just think that'll be massive for us in winning the league, getting a defender in. I know that I mentioned to him before, Ajax defender, Hatter. I think he would do really good at Arsenal. I know he's really young, he's 17, but I just feel like for me, we need to bring players in, we need to bring these reinforcements in to help us. And he can play at left back. I think the left back position is something that we definitely need to work on going forward, because I know when we have the big games, Anfield, when we play Man City, there'll be a lot of bigger games, and we don't want to show any weaknesses in the team. I know that Tomiyasu was doing really well, but he obviously has an injury and circumstances happen, so that's obviously made it more difficult for him. I know it'll be frustrating for him as a player not to get as many minutes, but as I know, he is off now and he probably won't be back for a little while, so we're going to have to really manage with that, even though it's really tough on us, because we've got like Partey out, the Smith Rowe one, he barely plays. Timber for me, I feel like he has been a big blow for us. I feel like when I watched him in that Community Shield game, he was excellent, and to have him out for so long, I know March can't come sooner. It won't be too long, hopefully soon, but it is disappointing to have him out as well. But I think, like I've said to someone, Partey is an important player for us, but I think I would be open to bringing other players in. in replacement for him in the summer especially, but in January we do need to bring in players that are definitely going to help us with the league. So yeah, let's just hope Arsenal can go for the league again. I think January window, I feel like we're going to leave it to the end. And I do think we will. There's certain players that I do think will sell. I think we'll sell Cedric because he doesn't ever play. He only plays when he needs to. And quite frankly, I'm not really comfortable a lot when he plays because he's not been in the team for a while. He's been out, he's been on loan. So I feel like with him, feel like that's one thing. El Neni, I think he's probably going to move on. I mean, it's lovely having him at Arsenal, but I think Arsenal need to make money out of some players in order to bring players into the club. I don't know if the Kroenkes are going to invest a lot for us in January. So, yeah, that one's really going to be interesting. And Reece Nelson as well, Nketiah. I think for their career, that I think interesting in Nketiah, but I think I would probably, if we need that much money, I think those are players you need to sell. I do really respect Reece Nelson. I just think he's an amazing person and a player that I value a lot. But Arteta isn't giving him much game time. And obviously, when he comes on, I don't think he is Saka's level, but he's still good enough, I think. But um, as a cover, I don't know if they can do that job. So I feel like you've just got to make the most out of that. And it'll be interesting to see what we do with Ramsdale as well. Will we get money for him? And to be honest, with Ramsdale, he does deserve game time, regular game times for his England career. For him, he does deserve to have, regular minutes, and he does deserve to be possibly the number one for England. I mean, I know he's not played much, and Gareth Southgate's interest might not be as much as it was then because Ramsdale's not playing really much. But I think for me, there's always the option to sell Ramsdale. It would really hurt because I didn't think it would end like this. He just signed a new deal, I think, last season, and now this season it's completely changed for him. So yeah, I think it's just really tough right now, isn't it, for him, regarding what his future is and if he will play at the weekend. I think for me, it would be nice to see him get some minutes at the weekend, but I don't really think Arteta will have that in mind. I mean, I would be surprised if he played. I think for me, Raya is our number one now, and Arteta's going to stick by that by playing him. But yeah, I think interesting to see some rumours that are going on. I do hope we do start to sign some players in the upcoming weeks. I think Arteta's and Edu and the club have got to see the striker. For me, is our priority. Like, I know defensively, left back, we have conceded a lot of goals. We have made a few mistakes there, but I just think we are really lacking that goal scorer up front. I hope we can buy Ivan Toney. I've heard that he really likes Arsenal, so I just felt this move would be the right one, even if it's a lot of money. We've just got to buy a striker. I think that one is a big priority. I think if we got someone early in, we could relax, but I don't think we will. I think it will probably go on for a little while, and Arsenal will stress us out. But definitely interesting to see what other clubs will do as well. But I really hope we can bring the right players in order for us to, do well in the season, because it is a long season. You can't really predict right now who's going to win it. I can't. I'm not like 100% sure who I think is going to win it right now, because it is a really tough call to make. I know Liverpool are 5 points ahead right now, and it's obviously hurt because that gap could have been close if we won that game. But stuff happens, doesn't it? Really. But obviously, at the moment, Villa are second on 42 points. Villa are doing really well this season. And obviously, Arsenal and Man City are level on 40 points. Tottenham on 39. So we've really got to keep winning games and making sure that gap, closes. But yeah, I think the league, you can't really predict right now. I think it might go to the last game at the end. But yeah, it's really tough. But I think we've just got to really wait, see how it goes really. Regarding, who's going to win the league. I think it could be anyone's. I do think it will be with us, Man City, Liverpool, because you know what? Liverpool have done a lot better this season than last season. But I think you can't predict what's happening. But yeah, it'll be interesting. If you guys do have any questions to ask me, um, just answer away. I'll probably stay on for a little bit longer. It's been half an hour I've been chatting away for, and I've enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. It's been nice to, do this. I know I did do a video yesterday. But yeah, I think hopefully Arsenal win at the weekend. That'll make me very, very happy. I will do a video after the game on a Sunday. I think. Let me check what time the kickoff is actually. So okay, 4:30 kickoff. Oh, that's going to be so nerve-wracking, and we've got to really win that one. I think considering our recent form, and the FA Cup for me, like what I think is that we've in recent years we've really put a weak team out for this game, and I just don't get why we do that. I think you've got to go out strong. I think FA Cup for me is a trophy that I really, really love, and I think people should give it more credit than it deserves. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll put a strong line-up out. I'm not sure if Liverpool will though, because they've got other priorities. But I hope, they've not got Mo Salah as well. That's another issue. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they manage with that. But yeah, guys, it's been really good to come on here today. I hope we can win. I don't want a replay. I've said this so many times. I'd rather get it over and done with. But yeah, guys, if you are kind of new to this, please do hit the like button and please do subscribe. And yeah, I've really enjoyed coming on here today. I'll wait a few minutes just in case you guys do want to ask me any questions, because it's kind of nice to answer some of your questions if you do have any about, the league. But yeah, so I'll be back on Sunday. After the game, honestly, I really do not hope. I really hope I won't be annoyed at the result, because it's really hard. Having these defeats, this will be the third one in a row, and I just don't think I can cope with it. So, I really hope we can obviously get through that. I mean, I've said for me, if we lose that game, I think we should wait till the end of the season to say how we like. I think with Arteta, a lot of people will question him if we do lose, and I think for me, I'll always question his, decisions if I don't agree with it. But I just think getting rid of him wouldn't be the right thing, because I know it's been a long time since we've won trophies, but he's built us this culture, he's built us this great atmosphere, and I just feel like the team are very much into it, and he very much understands what he wants to do here, his philosophy, his ideas. So I feel like, yeah, I just think it would be the wrong move to get rid of him. But yeah, I've got a few questions here. If I ask you a question, would you put any academy player? If so, who would you pick? That's a really tough question. Let me think about that first, and then I'll come back. Yeah, it's a tough, because the academy for me has got some really talented players. So I'll come back to that and I'll answer that, because there are so many. If that's what you mean by that question. Jason's asked, "What's your favourite Arsenal moment?" Oh God, that is tough. That's a really hard one. Right, what I'll say is my recent one. So when I started supporting Arsenal and growing up, I did really like. Well, there was quite a few FA Cups that I loved. We won a few under Wenger. I think I loved the one against Hull City. I think that incredible win was really, really good. I think Arteta winning the FA Cup. I think lockdown was a really tough time for a lot of people. So I feel like it really helped people's moods, and yeah, I just think that really did help. as fans, it really did good wonders for us. I think genuinely winning the league in 1989 is just incredible because there's never been a story like that again. And yeah, I just feel like wow, like there's always hope when you can go to Anfield that you can do it. So I feel like for me, I'm definitely that's definitely one of my favourite memories. Well, Arsenal moments. But it's obviously a really good question to ask because there's been so many. I mean, I started watching Arsenal in 2015-16 season, and I loved when we beat United. I think it was 3-0, and Sanchez scored two, Ozil scored one. And it was just, when you just enjoy the football you're playing as a fan, I feel like Wenger really did that for us. It really gave us, great memories as a fan, even though that season we really should have won the league. It was tough, but I feel like for me, it really does, show you what Wenger did for our club, especially growing up for me as a fan. So yeah, that's probably my favourite moment for me. But there's been so many, the Invincibles winning the league, like no one thought we would go unbeaten, and we did it. There's really is so many like you could pick out. But I'd love to hear what your favourite Arsenal memories as well, because I absolutely love to hear that from you. Um, Let me hear yours. Alan Sunderland in 79 is close. My second. Yeah, I think the Anfield one is a lot of favourites from people. I mean, we really were going into that game as Liverpool were the better team, the team that were going to win. We didn't really have a lot of hope. We had to win by 2 goals. And I actually have that DVD of that kind of documentary, and whenever I watch it, it gives me goosebumps every time. I wasn't obviously born then, but when I watch it, like I just feel very like emotional. It brings me so much happiness. The fact that we were the underdogs, and it was clear to see back then the media didn't really like us. The media were against us, and it's just nice feeling to prove people wrong, I think. So I think with that, it was just such a lovely feeling. But it's obviously hard. There's so many amazing memories, amazing players at the club over our history. There's obviously the George Graham era, the Wenger era, and hopefully Arteta can have his era of success. I hope Arteta is going to bring us success back to the club because I really want us to win trophies. Like it is tough. He's won us the FA Cup. His Community Shield obviously was a really good game for us. But yeah, I just think for us at the club, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I forgot to answer this. It's obviously tough. I don't actually watch an awful lot of the academy, but I know someone on loan, Charlie Patino, is someone that I do watch actually quite a lot as well. I think it'd be interesting to see what happens with him if he comes back, because I think Arsenal in the academy has always been quite a success. When you see Smith Rowe coming through, when you see, you know, how that's gone, it's really, really incredible. Their journey, and no players do go on loan. It doesn't always work out for players, but I think the academy is a big part to play in Arsenal. And Ajax as well do have a really good academy. When I was talking about that player before, I did a lot of research about it, and he's 17, and it feels bad for taking some of their players, but more will come in, and they'll have more amazing talent there. So I do think there is a lot of great academies out there. I definitely think Arsenal are really successful in that. I think, if you look at, I think Saka is an inspiration to those that really want to follow in his footsteps to see how far he's come. Um, but yeah, I just think for Arsenal, yeah, it's been really good to do this video tonight, guys. I've been on here for nearly 40 minutes. Thank you guys for listening to me kind of chat away. I will be back on Sunday. I really do hope we win. Like, if we don't win, I'll be really devastated because it's for a trophy, it's for an FA Cup, it's a big one for us. But my score predictions for the game, and let me know your score predictions. I said this yesterday, I think Arsenal can do it 2-1. I don't want it to be a replay because I just feel like it'd be easier if it wasn't. I mean, a win is going to be great for us. A win, no matter if we go for a replay, is a positive. But I just feel like for me, I don't want to go through the stress of a replay. But as I've said, because they're not with Mo Salah, it gives me this confidence that we might do a bit better. I do know that they've obviously got Jota. He loves a goal against us. Nunes as well. It's a tough one. Liverpool have great players, but 4-1, I really would love that. I'm not going to lie. I think I've got more confidence because we're at home. Like if we were away at Anfield, I'd probably say a draw. I'd probably say a 1-1 draw. I mean, it was interesting when we played them at Anfield, where it was 1-1 a few weeks ago. I feel like for us, it was a good point. I do think Liverpool had a lot of chances they wish they would have taken. I think for them, it was probably 2 points lost because they had opportunities they could have taken. But yeah, I just think for me, it'd be really good if we could win. I think Arteta is getting judged now. Arteta's getting questioned because we seem to be lacking ideas right now. We seem to be struggling to score goals, and I believe we need a striker. But with the squad we have now, we should be scoring goals with that team. So interesting for the lineup. I hope we do go strong with that. But yeah, I would take a 4-1 win, Jason. That would be brilliant. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. I've been chatting away for about 40 minutes. But I will do more of these streams because I do love chatting with you guys, and it's really lovely to do this. I'll probably do a Q&A soon about the season. But I'll be back on Sunday to chat about the game. Hopefully, I'll be happy if we've won. But it's not the easiest of fixtures ever playing Liverpool. Good night, Jason. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, whatever you're doing, and to anyone else that's watching, I hope you have a great evening too. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and always leave comments down below about any of your thoughts. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.